Stop scrolling. Right now, you're either in control of your mind, or your mind is controlling you. Most people wake up every day reacting, stressed, anxious, distracted, letting the world decide how they feel. But over 2,000 years ago, a man who ruled the most powerful empire on earth discovered something different. Marcus Aurelius didn't just survive chaos, he mastered it. While facing war, betrayal, pressure, and death, he trained his mind to stay calm, unshaken, and powerful. And here's the truth. If you don't learn to control your thoughts, your emotions will control your life. In this video, I'm going to show you 15 Stoic lessons that can rewire your mind, strengthen your discipline, and make you mentally untouchable, no matter what happens around you. Watch till the end, because one of these lessons might completely change how you see your life forever. And if you want more powerful content like this, make sure you subscribe now, because what you're about to hear, most people will never understand. Lesson 1. Control your mind, or it will control you. Here's the first truth most people avoid. You are not stressed because of your life. You are stressed because of how you think about your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Think about that. Not your job, not people, not circumstances, your mind. But here's where it gets dangerous. Most people never train their mind. They let every negative thought walk in like an uninvited guest and take control. One small problem happens, and suddenly, their entire day is ruined. Stoics understood something powerful. It's not events that disturb you, it's your interpretation of them. Two people can go through the same situation. One breaks down, the other becomes stronger. What's the difference? Mindset. When something goes wrong, instead of reacting emotionally, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, take action. If it's not, let it go. This simple mental filter will eliminate most of your stress instantly. But here's the deeper layer most people miss. Your thoughts are habits. If you constantly think negatively, your brain becomes wired for stress, fear, and doubt. But if you train your mind to stay calm, focused, and disciplined, you become unshakable. This is why mental strength is not something you're born with. It's something you build. Every time you choose calm over chaos, focus over distraction, discipline over emotion, you are becoming stronger. And once you master your mind, nothing in this world can control you again. For lesson 2, we're just getting started, and it gets deeper. Lesson 2, accept what you cannot control and reclaim your power. Let's go deeper, because this is where most people lose their peace without even realizing it. You are not exhausted because life is hard. You are exhausted because you're fighting things you cannot control. Marcus Aurelius understood this at the highest level. As a Roman emperor, he faced constant uncertainty, wars, political betrayal, disease, and death. Yet, he remained calm. Why? Because he mastered one principle most people ignore. Some things are not up to you. And the moment you accept that, your life becomes lighter. Think about how much energy you waste daily, worrying about people's opinions, stressing about things that already happened, trying to control outcomes that were never yours to control. It's draining. But here's the shift that changes everything. Divide your life into 2 categories. What you can control, what you cannot. You can control your actions, your thoughts, your discipline, your response. But you cannot control other people, the past, the future, external events. And yet, most people spend their entire lives focusing on the second list. That's why they feel powerless. But the moment you redirect your energy to what you can control, you become dangerous in the best way. Calm, focused, unshaken. Here's a powerful mental exercise. Whenever something stresses you, ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it immediately. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Because every second you hold on to what you cannot control, you give away your power. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't need a better life to feel better. You need a better mindset. Once you truly accept reality instead of resisting it, you stop suffering unnecessarily. And when you stop fighting life, you finally start winning. For lesson 3, this one will challenge how you see problems forever. Lesson 3, See obstacles as the path, not the problem. Here's a mindset shift that can completely transform your life. What if the thing you're trying to avoid is actually the thing meant to grow you? Most people see obstacles as interruptions. Something goes wrong, and they complain, quit, or lose motivation. But Marcus Aurelius saw it differently. He believed that the obstacle is the way. Let that sink in. Not something to avoid, not something to fear, but something to use. Every challenge you face is an opportunity in disguise, but only if you train your mind to see it that way. When things get hard, most people ask, "Why is this happening to me?" But Stoics ask a better question. How can this make me stronger? That one shift changes everything. Because here's the truth. Easy lives don't build strong people. Struggles do. Pressure does. Pain does. Think about it. Discipline is built when you don't feel like showing up, but you do it anyway. Patience is built when things aren't going your way, but you stay calm. Strength is built when life tests you, but you refuse to break. So instead of running from difficulties, start using them. Turn every setback into training. Lost an opportunity? Learn from it. Facing rejection? Build resilience. Dealing with pressure? Strengthen your focus. Because every obstacle you overcome upgrades you into a stronger version of yourself. And here's the deeper truth most people miss. If life was easy all the time, you would stay weak. Comfort is addictive, but growth lives in discomfort. So the next time something goes wrong, don't panic. Pause, smile, and remind yourself, this is my training. Because once you start seeing obstacles as the path, nothing can stop you anymore. For Lesson 4, this one will change how you deal with people forever. Lesson 4, stop seeking validation. Most people aren't thinking about you. Let's be honest, a huge part of your stress comes from one thing: caring too much about what other people think. You hesitate, you overthink, you hold yourself back, all because of opinions that don't even matter. But here's the truth that will set you free. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to be thinking about you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that chasing approval is a trap. Because the moment you rely on others to validate you, you lose control of your own life. Think about it. If someone praises you, you feel good. If someone criticizes you, you feel bad. That means your emotions are in their hands. And that's dangerous. Because people are unpredictable. Their opinions change. Their moods change. Their judgments are often wrong. So why build your identity on something so unstable? Here's what strong, mentally disciplined people understand. Your worth is not decided by other people's opinions. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't need approval to move forward. You don't need validation to become who you're meant to be. In fact, the moment you stop trying to impress everyone, you become powerful. Because now, your decisions are based on purpose, not approval. Here's a practical shift. Next time you're about to hold yourself back, ask, am I doing this for growth or for approval? If it's for approval, stop. If it's for growth, go all in. Because chasing validation keeps you small, but focusing on your mission, that's what builds confidence. And here's the deeper truth. The people who change their lives are not the ones who are liked by everyone. They are the ones who are focused, disciplined, unapologetically themselves. So stop shrinking to fit other people's expectations. Stop overthinking their opinions. And start living your life on your terms. Because once you stop seeking validation, you unlock a level of freedom most people never experience. For Lesson 5, this one will completely change how you handle negative people and toxic situations. Lesson 5, your peace is your responsibility. Don't hand it to anyone. Let's get real. People will test you. They will misunderstand you, disrespect you, ignore you, criticize you, and sometimes for no reason at all. And if you're not careful, you'll give them exactly what they want, your peace. But Marcus Aurelius had a powerful reminder for moments like this. You don't have to turn this into something. In other words, just because someone brings negativity to you, doesn't mean you have to accept it. Here's where most people go wrong. Someone says something negative, and they react immediately. They get angry. They argue. They carry that energy for hours, sometimes days. But what they don't realize is this. Reaction is a choice. You can choose to engage, or you can choose to stay calm. And the moment you realize that, you become untouchable. Because now, no one can control your emotions without your permission. Here's a powerful shift. Instead of reacting, start observing. When someone disrespects you, pause and think, this is their character, not mine. When someone is negative, remind yourself, I don't have to match their energy. Because when you react emotionally, you lower yourself to their level. But when you stay calm, you rise above it. Now here's the deeper truth most people miss. You don't control how people treat you, but you control how long it affects you. You can carry that negativity all day, or you can drop it instantly. That's your power. And the more you protect your peace, the stronger your mind becomes. So stop giving people free access to your emotions. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your reaction. Choose your peace over proving a point. Choose calm over chaos. Because once you master your reactions, you master your life. For lesson 6, this one will teach you how to stay calm even when life feels unfair. Lesson 6, life is not fair, but you can still win. Here's a truth most people don't want to accept. Life is not fair. Good people struggle. Hardworking people get overlooked. Unexpected problems show up when you least expect them. And when that happens, most people react the same way. They complain. They blame. They feel like life is against them. But Marcus Aurelius took a completely different approach. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? He trained himself to ask, what can I do with this? That single question separates the weak mindset from the powerful one. Because when you expect life to be fair, you become frustrated. But when you accept that life is unpredictable, you become adaptable. And adaptability is power. Think about it. If every time something goes wrong, you break down, you lose. But if every time something goes wrong, you adjust, learn, and move forward, you grow. And growth is how you win, long term. Here's where it gets deeper. Complaining feels good in the moment, but it changes nothing. Blaming others might protect your ego, but it keeps you stuck. Excuses might sound valid, but they delay your progress. So instead of wasting energy on things you can't change, start asking better questions. What is this teaching me? How can I respond better? What's the next move? Because no matter how unfair a situation is, you still control your response. And your response determines your outcome. Now here's the mindset shift that changes everything. You don't need perfect conditions to succeed. You need discipline. You need focus. You need resilience. Because the people who win in life are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who refused to quit when things got hard. So the next time life feels unfair, don't complain. Don't freeze. Don't give up. Adjust. Adapt. Move forward. Because even in an unfair world, you can still build an unstoppable mind. For lesson 7, this one will show you how to eliminate overthinking and take control of your actions instantly. Lesson 7. Stop overthinking. Action creates clarity. Let's face it, overthinking is silently destroying your progress. You think too much. You analyze every possibility. You wait for the perfect moment. And because of that, you don't move. But here's the truth. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from action. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit around waiting to feel ready. As a leader facing constant pressure, he acted, even when things weren't perfect. Because he understood something most people don't. You don't need to feel confident to start. You become confident by starting. Overthinking creates fear. Action destroys it. Think about how many opportunities you've missed simply because you hesitated. Not because you weren't capable, but because you kept thinking instead of doing. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if people judge me? These questions feel important, but they're just mental traps. Because here's what actually happens. You take action. You learn. You adjust. You improve. And suddenly, what once felt difficult becomes normal. That's how growth works. Not through perfection, but through repetition. Here's a powerful rule to live by. Act before you feel ready. Because waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of fear. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move. Now here's the deeper truth most people ignore. Overthinking gives you the illusion of control, but it actually keeps you stuck. Action, on the other hand, feels uncomfortable, but it moves your life forward. So the next time you catch yourself overthinking, Interrupted. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take action immediately. Send the message. Start the project. Make the decision. Because once you build the habit of acting instead of overthinking, you become unstoppable. And in a world where most people hesitate, you'll already be ahead. For Lesson 8, this one will completely change how you see time, death, and urgency, and it will hit deep. Lesson 8. Remember you will die, and start living for real. This might feel uncomfortable, but it might be the most powerful lesson in this entire video. One day, you will die. Not someday far away, not something to ignore, but a real, unavoidable truth. And instead of fearing it, Marcus Aurelius used this idea to sharpen his focus and live with urgency. He reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Now pause and really think about that. If you truly understood that your time is limited, would you still procrastinate? Would you still overthink every decision? Would you still care so much about people's opinions? Probably not. Because when you become aware of how short life is, you stop wasting it. Here's the truth most people avoid. You live like you have unlimited time. You delay your goals. You postpone your dreams. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow is not guaranteed. And every day you waste is a day you'll never get back. This is not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Because when you accept your mortality, you start living with intention. You focus on what truly matters. You let go of what doesn't. You become more present, more disciplined, more alive. Now here's the deeper truth. Most people don't need more time. They need more awareness of the time they already have. So instead of fearing death, use it. Let it push you to act. Let it remind you to focus. Let it guide your decisions. Because when you realize your time is limited, you stop living on autopilot. You stop settling. You stop delaying. And you start becoming the person you were meant to be. So don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. Because one day, there will be no more time left. For Lesson 9, this one will show you how to stay calm even when everything around you is falling apart. Lesson 9. Stay calm. Chaos is where most people lose control. Let's be real. It's easy to stay calm when everything is going well. But the real test of your strength is this. Can you stay calm when everything is falling apart? When plans fail? When pressure rises? When emotions hit hard? Most people lose control. They panic. They react impulsively. They make decisions they later regret. But Marcus Aurelius trained himself for these exact moments. Because he understood something powerful. Your calmness is your advantage. While others are reacting emotionally, you can think clearly. While others are panicking, you can stay focused. And in that moment, you win. Here's the truth. Chaos doesn't destroy you. Your reaction to chaos does. Two people can face the same crisis. One loses control. The other stays composed and finds a solution. What's the difference? Emotional discipline. And this is something you can train. Here's how. The next time you feel overwhelmed, don't react immediately. Pause. Take a breath. Create space between the event and your response. Because in that small space, you regain control. Now here's the deeper layer most people miss. Calmness is not weakness. It's strength. It means you are in control of yourself, even when everything else is out of control. And that's rare, because most people are slaves to their emotions. But you don't have to be. You can choose to stay grounded. You can choose to stay focused. You can choose to stay calm, even when it's hard. And the more you practice this, the more unshakable you become. So when chaos shows up, and it will, don't panic. Don't rush. Don't lose control. Stay calm. Because in a world full of noise and reaction, your calmness will set you apart. For Lesson 10, this one will expose a hidden habit that's quietly destroying your happiness every single day. Lesson 10. Stop complaining. It's quietly destroying your power. Here's something most people don't realize. Complaining feels harmless, but over time, it weakens your mind, drains your energy, and keeps you stuck. You complain about your job, about people, about your situation, and for a moment, it feels like relief. But in reality, you're reinforcing a mindset of powerlessness. Marcus Aurelius warned against this exact habit. He believed that every moment spent complaining is a moment wasted because it doesn't change anything. Think about it. Has complaining ever solved your problems? Or has it just made you feel worse? Because when you complain, you focus on what's wrong instead of what you can do. And whatever you focus on expands. So if you constantly focus on problems, your mind becomes filled with negativity. But if you focus on solutions, your mind becomes sharp, proactive, and powerful. Here's the shift that changes everything. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" start asking, "What can I do about it?" That question puts you back in control. Now here's the deeper truth most people ignore. Complaining is easy. Taking responsibility is hard. But growth only happens when you choose the harder path. So the next time you feel the urge to complain, pause, catch yourself, and replace it with action. Can you improve the situation? Do it. Can you learn from it? Do it. Is it out of your control? Let it go. Because every time you refuse to complain, you build mental strength. You build discipline. You build resilience. And over time, you become someone who doesn't waste energy on negativity, but uses it to move forward. So stop feeding the habit that keeps you weak and start building the mindset that makes you strong. Because once you eliminate complaining, you unlock a level of focus and control most people never reach. For Lesson 11, this one will show you why most people never achieve their goals and how to avoid that trap completely. Lesson 11. Discipline beats motivation. Motivation is a liar. Let's be honest. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they depend on motivation. One day they feel inspired. The next day they don't. One day they're ready to change their life. The next day they quit. And that cycle repeats forever. But here's the truth that changes everything. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Marcus Aurelius didn't rely on motivation to rule an empire or survive constant pressure. He relied on routine, duty, and mental discipline, even when he didn't feel like it. Because he understood something most people ignore. If you only act when you feel like it, you will never be consistent. And without consistency, you cannot grow. Think about it. You don't brush your teeth because you feel motivated. You do it because it's a habit. That's discipline. Now imagine applying that mindset to your goals. Studying when you don't feel like it. Working when you're tired. Showing up when nobody is watching. That's how success is built. Not in bursts of motivation, but in boring, repeated discipline. Here's the deeper truth. Your emotions will always try to negotiate with your goals. They'll say, "Do it later. You're too tired. Start tomorrow." But discipline doesn't negotiate. It executes. So the real question is not, "Do I feel like doing this?" The real question is this who I want to become? Because every action you take is shaping your identity. And if you only act when you feel motivated, you're building a weak version of yourself. But if you act even when it's hard, you're building an unstoppable one. So stop waiting for motivation. It's unreliable. Instead, build discipline. Because discipline is what keeps you moving, even when motivation disappears. And that's exactly how winners are made. For Lesson 12, this one will show you how to stop fearing failure and start using it as fuel. Lesson 12. Failure is not the end. IT is feedback. Let's clear something up right now. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. But most people treat failure like a full stop. They fail once, and they assume it means they are not good enough. So they quit. But Marcus Aurelius saw failure differently. To him, every setback was information, not identity. It didn't define him. It refined him. And that's the difference. Here's what most people miss. Every failure is telling you something. Something didn't work. So you adjust. You improve. You try again. That's how growth actually happens. But instead of learning, most people emotionally collapse. They say, "I'm not capable. This isn't for me. I failed, so I should stop." But failure is not a verdict on your worth. It's just data. Think about it. If you try something and it doesn't work, now you are closer to what does work. That means you're not behind. You're progressing. Here's the mindset shift. Stop asking, "Why did I fail?" Start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Because that question turns pain into progress. Now here's the deeper truth. The people who succeed the most are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail, learn, and continue without losing momentum. Failure only becomes dangerous when you stop. As long as you keep going, you are still in the game. So don't fear mistakes. Don't fear setbacks. Don't fear looking foolish. Fear staying the same. Because every great achievement you admire today was built on repeated failure that someone refused to quit on. So the next time you fail, don't break down. Break through. Learn. Adjust. Try again. Because failure is not your enemy. Quitting is. For lesson 13, this one will teach you how to stop comparing yourself and finally focus on your own path. Lesson 13. Stop comparing yourself. You are delaying your own growth. Let's be honest. One of the fastest ways to destroy your confidence is comparison. You look at someone else's success, their money, their progress, their lifestyle, and suddenly, your own life feels small. But here's the problem. You are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and that will always make you feel behind, even when you're actually progressing. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. As one of the most powerful men in the world, he still reminded himself not to be distracted by what others had or achieved. Because comparison doesn't inspire action, it creates frustration, and frustration kills focus. Think about it. When you compare yourself to others, you stop focusing on your own growth. You start feeling, I'm not enough. I'm too slow. I'm behind. And that mindset drains your energy. But here's the truth. Your life is not a race against anyone else. It is a path. And your only real competition is who you were yesterday. Now here's the shift that changes everything. Instead of looking sideways, start looking forward. Ask yourself, am I better than I was last month? Am I improving in any area of my life? Because growth is not about being better than others. It's about becoming better than your past self. And when you focus on that, peace returns, pressure disappears, and progress becomes natural. Now here's the deeper truth most people never realize. There will always be someone ahead of you, and there will always be someone behind you. So if you base your happiness on comparison, you will never be satisfied. But if you base your happiness on progress, you will always feel fulfilled. So stop measuring your life against others. Their journey is not yours. Their timing is not yours. Their success is not your standard. Focus on your path, build at your pace, and trust your process. Because the moment you stop comparing, you finally start growing in peace. For lesson 14, this one will show you how to protect your energy and stop letting people drain your mental strength. Lesson 14, guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Let's be real. Not everyone in your life is adding value to your mind. Some people drain you. Some distract you. Some pull you away from your focus. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your best energy on the wrong people. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Despite being surrounded by advisors, enemies, and political pressure, he constantly reminded himself to protect his inner peace from external noise. Because energy is not infinite. Once it's gone, it's gone. Here's the truth most people ignore. Every conversation you enter, every argument you engage in, every emotional reaction you give, it costs you energy. And most people are spending that energy carelessly. Think about it. You argue with people who don't want to understand you. You explain yourself to people who already judged you. You react to negativity that you could have ignored. And after all that, you feel drained. But here's the shift. Not everything deserves your response. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your emotion. Sometimes, the strongest move is silence. Sometimes, the smartest move is distance. Because protecting your peace is not weakness. It's wisdom. Now here's the deeper truth most people miss. Your environment shapes your mind. If you surround yourself with negativity, your thoughts become negative. If you surround yourself with distraction, your focus disappears. But if you guard your energy carefully, you become clear, you become focused, you become strong. So start asking yourself, does this person, conversation, or habit strengthen me or drain me? If it drains you repeatedly, you don't need more tolerance. You need boundaries. Because boundaries are how you protect your mental strength. And here's the final truth. You cannot build a powerful life with scattered energy. You need focus. You need clarity. You need peace. So stop giving your energy away so cheaply. Protect it, direct it, use it wisely. Because once you guard your energy, you stop being influenced by everything around you, and you start becoming unshakable within yourself. For lesson 15, this one will tie everything together and change how you see life completely. Lesson 15, final lesson. Master yourself. This is the only real success. We've reached the final lesson, and if you truly understand this, everything else becomes easier. Because here's the truth most people spend their entire lives missing. You can gain money, respect, success, power, and still be completely lost inside. Because none of those things matter if you cannot control yourself. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most powerful rulers in history, but he constantly reminded himself that the real battle was not outside, it was within. The real enemy was not people, not politics, not circumstances. It was the mind. Because if you cannot master your thoughts, you will always be controlled by them. If you cannot master your emotions, you will always be reactive. If you cannot master your habits, you will always be stuck in cycles you don't want. So the final Stoic lesson is this. Self-mastery is the highest form of success. Not fame, not status, not validation. Control over yourself. Think about it. What is the point of achieving everything externally if internally you are still anxious, angry, distracted, or empty? That is not success. That is imbalance. Here's what Marcus Aurelius practiced every day. Discipline over desire. Logic over emotion. Purpose over distraction. Not perfectly, but consistently. And that consistency is what made him mentally strong. Now here's the final truth. You will not always control what happens in your life, but you will always control what happens inside you. Your response, your discipline, your focus, your decisions. That is your power. So if you take anything from this entire video, take this. Start mastering yourself. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because when you master yourself, you no longer need to control the world. You simply move through it with calm, clarity, and strength. And that is what it truly means to be unstoppable. If this video helped you even a little, then don't just watch and leave. Subscribe to the channel now for more powerful Stoic lessons like this. Because every video here is designed to help you build a stronger mind, deeper discipline, and unshakable focus in your life. And remember, the world will always try to pull you in different directions, but a disciplined mind always wins in the end. Stay strong, stay calm, stay unstoppable.